In this video, I'm going to show you how to make a drop-down menu like this. So let's begin. So before getting into that, we are going to learn the basics. So we are going to learn three things. 1, position relative. 2, position absolute. And 3, hover. So let's begin. Now we are going to take a parent div, parent parent div, and inside that we are going to take a child div. Now let's use the CSS. I'm going to give it a width of 500 pixel and height of 500 pixel. And now I'm going to give it a border so that I can see it, 2 pixel solid red. Okay, now we can see that. Now we are going to style the children. This child is inside the parent div, so let's see. Width is going to be, it is going to be small, so width is going to be 250 pixel. Height is going to be 250 pixel as well. Now we would want to see that, so 2 pixel solid red. Now you can see the child div here. Now let me show you what the position relative and position absolute can do. So we are going to give position relative to the parent div, position relative, and now we are going to give the position absolute to the child. Now you can see that we can remove the child, we can move the child div the way we want. So if I write top 200 pixel, see it moved 300 pixel from the top. Now if I give it 500, see now it is at the bottom, just touching the bottom part of the parent div. Now let's see hover. When I hover the parent div, something is going to happen to the child div. Something like what? Let's change the border color. Border 1 pixel, 2 pixel, solid blue. See, when I'm hovering the parent div, the color of the child is changing. Now we can make the child div disappear. We have to write display none. See, the child div has disappeared. Now if I write display, when I hover the parent div, the child div is going to be displayed. Display block. Let me give. So when I hover the parent div, the display is going to the child div is going to show up. See, when I'm hovering this, now the child div is showing up. So this is basically the basic of a drop-down menu. When I'm hovering something, the drop-down menu is going to show up. So let's begin with the actual code. So here I have taken the index.html file and style.css file and linked the CSS file with the index file. So let me first write down all the HTML code necessary for this. I'm going to take a class and it is going to be called navbar and a VBR, and inside that I'm going to take unordered list and I'm going to give it a class name of first row. And inside that unordered list, I'm going to take 5 lists and I'm going to have anchor tag in them as well. So, okay, let me cut it down. And now I'm going to write the nav links home about services, pricing, and lastly I'm going to have contact us. Okay, nice. Now in the service I'm going to have the drop down services. I'm going to offer a few services, so I'll have some drop downs here. I'm going to give it a class name. Class is going to be services, and after the anchor tag I'm going to take a div. I'm going to name it drop down, and inside that I'm going to take unordered list as well, and I'm going to take 3 unordered list items and with the anchor tag as well. I'm going to name them as service 1, service 2, and lastly I'm going to have service 3. Nice. So I think we are done with the navbar, and now I'm going to style them. So to style it, first thing first, I'm going to give it a margin. But before doing that, let me show you something. I'm going to remove the list style here. So I'm going to write unordered list style, and I'm going to have none, no list styles. And for the anchor tag, I'm going to remove the underlines. So text decoration is going to be none, and I'm going to give it a color of black. Okay. Now it looks good, and now I'm going to give it margin 0, padding 0. Okay, now I'm going to give it a background cover so that it looks nice. Body is going to be, but first I'm going to give it a width. Width is going to be 100 view width. Whatever I'm saying, it is going to be 100% of that. Height is going to be 100 view height. And now I'm going to bring a background image. So as I'm bringing image, I'm going to give the URL and this photo. Now you can't see the photo properly, so I'm going to position it. I'm going to give it a background size is going to be cover. I want it to be cover. Now it looks somewhat good. And background position, background repeat. Do I want it to be repeated? No, I don't want the image to be repeated. So background position is going to be center, but it's going to be center. See, now it looks nice. Now we can't see our tag, so I'm going to rename the color to white. Now we can see it. Now I'm going to style them vertically, horizontally. I'm going to place them horizontally. So what is the first row, right? I have given the unordered list a class of first row. So whatever is in the class of first row, I want the display to be flex. See, the display is flex, but they are all just touching each other. So I'm going to give them justify content. It is going to be space between. See, now it looks good. It looks good. And then I'm going to give them a background color so we can differentiate it better. Background color is going to be RGBA 0, 0, 0, 0.5. See, now it looks good. And I'm going to give it some padding as well. Padding is going to be 20 pixel top and bottom and 5 pixel right and left. Now I can see them better. Now what I'm going to do, I'm going to hover. When I hover over them, the color is going to change, so I can differentiate. Hover. When I hover, the color is going to change, and it is going to be RGB 238, 7 and 169. Okay, now when I hover over them, see the colors are changing. All the anchor tags are changing in color. Now I'm going to remove them and make a drop down menu. So for the parent, this is the parent, so I'm going to give the parent a position class of relative, and then I'm going to have the drop down and give it a position of absolute. Okay, and from top it is going to be 100%. I'm going to keep it where it is. Background color RGBA 0.0.0.0.5. Okay, now I have the background color over them as well. Now I'm going to give it a width of 100 pixel. Okay, and then display none, drop down. I'm going to give some margin between them. Drop down UL li margin is going to be 10 pixel between them. Okay, and now I don't want to see them, but when I hover over it, it is going to pop up. So I'm going to give the drop down display is going to be none. Right now the display is none, there is no services. But when I hover over it, when I hover over services, something is going to happen to the drop down class. What is going to happen to it? The display is going to be block. So home, about, but when I hover to the services, why isn't it happening? See, this is what I made a mistake. It is going to be, the class is going to be in the list items. So, and when I hover the service, the top is going to be 100%. So when I hover over the service, the drop down menu is going to show up. About, service, pricing. Let me show it in the big screen. So when I hover over it, our list item is going to show up. So this is how you can make a drop down menu.